Welcome back, vibrators. Welcome to Vibrate or Diedrate.
Today, I'm going to be talking about the generational gap.
And I'm coming back at you guys with everybody's favorite topic this time of the year. I will be talking about New Year's resolutions. All right, let's vibe in. Hell yeah. Quality microphone. You need to buy an extra one when you have an iPhone.
Exactly.
Okay. January 10th.
2024.
2024. Kobe year. For everyone.
True.
R.I.P. I don't know. It's a good year. We're back. Sort of.
Sort of.
No, not sort of. We're completely back.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you. It's great to be
Vibrate
here.
or Diedrate.
We're back. Vibrate or Diedrate.
It's been a very long time. Honestly, the reason we stopped recording was because you moved to Florida to go to Disney school, and that was
a year and a half ago. That was 2022.
No, that's like the last.
Maybe that's
episode.
why we stopped initially, but then.
Well, that's why we stopped. And the plan was to start recording when you got back.
I mean, I'm back.
You're back now.
Yeah. And we're recording.
And you've been back for about a year.
So essentially, plan executed.
Boom. I love it.
We're back. How do you feel? Made it to the new year, 2023. What do you think of 2023?
Honestly, it was very irrelevant. I feel like there wasn't a lot that happened.
Yeah.
And it wasn't super exciting. I don't know.
This is how I've been thinking about things in terms of the decade, right? 2020.
Yeah.
Starting 2020. Obviously, that was a whole reset for the whole world. And that was just kind of a wash of a year. Mm-hmm. No one knew what they were doing. We're just we're just going to hog toilet paper and let the rest of this year fall out.
Yeah.
Maybe when I can go see my friend, or even if I can't see my friends, maybe I'll start a podcast, right?
Here we are. Love it.
4 years and 8 episodes later. Solid 2 a year. It's a solid schedule.
I like it.
But yeah, that was 2020, right? It was a wash of a year. 2021 was all right, well, we need to do something. We're going to try something. Everyone's trying something that, trying to get back into jobs. Maybe they moved somewhere new. Mm-hmm. I almost think it was a year for just people getting antsy to just kind of get started. For me, what did I have written down? This is how back we are, is we're now actually writing and giving some structure to this podcast. So I have it written down, I think.
While you're looking for that, I just want to apologize and say that I didn't mean that 2023 was entirely irrelevant, because Joe and Amanda got married, and I'm sorry. That's very important. And congrats on your marriage.
Maybe an 8 out of 10. That's a good wedding. Just kidding. We love those people.
Pretty fun.
Nuggets won the chip too.
That did happen.
Not completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
I actually did not write this part down, but 2020, wash of a year. 2021, all right, we need to get back into the swing of things. Let's try something. Okay, figuring it out as, adjusting it to working from home schedules or remote work or social distancing was still a thing.
Yeah.
At least in our culture, it was almost like a fad, like a long-term just social phenomena, I guess. And then 2022 was kind of all right, I'm feeling comfortable with us getting out more and whatnot. Not only do I want to try something new or anything, or not just, I'm already back into the swing of, working a regular schedule, having a social life, all that. 2022 was more so, I'm back. Life is resuming as almost normal. things are kind of coming back to being, open to full capacity.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about. Like, people were like, Walmart was limiting. Walmart was like limiting capacity in a lot of their stores, weren't they?
I mean, yeah. I mean, for sure, pretty much any store that was like 24/7.
Right.
Like,
I said Walmart, not knowing that stat. I'm probably just spreading misinformation, but I say that because it was like an extreme.
Yeah.
Because if they were limiting, then of course everybody else is. But
damn Walmart.
Wally World. I don't know if they were or not, but
Yeah.
Number one podcast to spread misinformation. Right here, Vibrate or Diedrate.
Facts.
They're not. Yeah, that was 2022. All right, we're back in the swing of things. Let's take it a step further. Let's try something new. I moved back to Florida to try and work at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Disney World. Almost killed a couple people.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
You went viral off of a fight.
For breaking up a fight.
Yeah.
It's kind of iconic.
Mm-hmm. I saw the video.
Pretty crazy. Pretty nuts. Pretty hilarious. My solution to that was basically to turn everybody else that was surrounding them, that it was causing them to wait longer. I was like turning the rest of the people that were part of the crowd against the two families that were fighting. It was a great story. Maybe I'll save that for another episode. But that was 2022. And then 2023 was like, all right, we're just chugging along.
Yeah.
2022, we all, tried something new after coming back from everything. And 2023 was like, all right, well, let's just keep doing this, see where this goes. And then it got boring.
Super boring.
You feel me?
And it sounds shitty to say, but it would be really cool if we had a pandemic, because then
what I keep thinking about is
how to make bread or some shit.
Yes, and I would love to see another housing
crisis. Yeah,
housing market crisis.
That's true.
Not a crisis, just a housing market implosion.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You can buy a house.
Yeah, I want my parents to sell their house first because I know they're going to, and then I want to see it.
I didn't know that they were doing that.
Well, they've said that for like 5 years.
Oh,
so we'll see.
Well, damn.
But anyways, that was 2023, right? And then we move up to 2024.
2024.
I think 2024 is going to be a great year for everyone.
I hope so.
I think it's like, all right, we came back, tried what we, wanted to try before the pandemic, whatever we were, trying to end up doing. Some of us found what we wanted to do in 2022 and 2023.
Yeah.
2024 will be the year to refine all that and keep chugging along. The rest of us find something new.
It's also an election year, though.
It is an election year.
Turmoil in the
and
States.
Summer Olympics. Always in the same year.
Yes, that's exciting.
You know what I always love is when I see captions where they say day 1 of 365 or chapter 1 of 365 alluding to the days. And it's in a leap year when it should be 366.
Yeah. Oh shit, this is a leap year.
Yeah. Anyways, my whole point I'm trying to come to is just, I think 2024 is going to be a great year for everyone. I think it's going to be a splendid year for us.
Yes.
Because we're coming back to, do the podcast. We're back.
I like the optimism, and I hope you're right.
I think we are because,
be right.
We're back mainly because at least one of us may or may not be unemployed. And so now I have the time to do it. It's not like I was doing too much before this, but when I did have a job, but
oh my God, I
have nothing else to do.
I was at Alyssa's yesterday for my lesson and everything, and her dad comes over and is like talking to me, and then he goes, "Is Michael still unemployed?" And I go, "Yep." And then he goes, "How long has this been going on?" Since his birthday, like September. He's like, "Love that kid."
Just kind of iconic. Oh my goodness, I love that man. He gets me.
He gets you. He thinks it's funny and he loves it.
Do you think he'd adopt me?
Yes, because they foster kittens.
They do. I'm basically the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. You just need a litter box. And just let out every once in a while, and you're good. And pretty easy. They have the space now. What's this going?
They do have the space. I could just Yeah. She's out of there.
I think you should ask them.
Anyways, 2024.
New year.
New
me.
Us.
Oh, new us.
New you.
New.
I know obviously with the new year everyone talks about like resolutions and everything, and
yes,
we both had similar resolution of just like reading more.
Yes.
Which we are already on top of.
Honestly, I'm so surprised because that's like, I mean, it's always been like a goal. And honestly, it probably was a resolution last year too. But like this year.
I've had it like 4 of the last 6 years.
This year, I'm on it.
I love it. Like I found what I enjoy reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I always thought that I was not the person for audiobooks because I just wouldn't be able to pay attention.
Yeah.
But we're reading, our book club is reading.
That's right.
I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy.
Shout out McCurdy.
I'm like halfway through.
Bless that woman.
Like we started reading it like a week ago now.
I know. Also worth mentioning, we started a book club.
What
a great way to like make sure we're on top of it.
Yes.
I love it. Yeah, like we're both like somewhere about a third, maybe halfway through it.
Yeah, I think we're about half.
I can personally say, I think you would be, you would say this too. For all of our regular vibrators out there, we heavily recommend this book.
Yes. 100%.
Like it is just a great read. We're listening to the audiobook because she's reading it. And just to hear her voice, telling her story, after growing up with her, watching iCarly and Sam and Cat. It's just a great story to hear from her.
And it's free on Spotify if you have Spotify
if you pay
Premium,
for it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So free on Spotify if you pay for Spotify.
Yeah. Well, everybody has Spotify. Who doesn't at this point?
It's fucking people who have their mom's Apple Music account.
I think that's my brother.
Iconic.
But they have so many audiobooks, and I feel like this is a free plug to Spotify. But honestly, I don't really hate them, like as most companies. So, free plug to Spotify. Yeah. Listen to their audiobooks.
Spotify is just great. Yeah, and honestly, them just adding audiobooks.
Yeah, good move. And like, there's so many very popular books.
I will say I'm a little worried that this is kind of gonna lean into them raising their prices.
No, I think it will. I actually think there's a limit. I heard that there's like a certain amount you can read per month or listen to per month, audiobooks wise. But I don't know what that limit is. I think you probably have to be like really into it.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, I have no idea. But I also have a Kindle, so
Kindles look good.
I can do my reading on there now.
So we're reading more.
Reading
was our kind of resolution. It's always a talk, especially every podcast talks about it. Their first episode of January each year. Prior to the new year, I had kind of set some less intense goals, just in general, just because I was unemployed. I was not happy with my job, and I was like, let me set some new goals, try something new. So kind of leaning into that end of the year, I was more so just trying to practice creating good habits, as opposed to practicing the good habits themselves, like just creating them and
like
keeping
working
them going.
out, going on
walks. I love walks.
Eating healthier, like those.
Eating healthier, spending less money. Yeah, just the typical things you do when you get to your mid-20s, unemployed, living in your mom's basement.
I'm so happy for you.
I know, it's great. So kind of like, and it was also nice because it was like leading into the new year. Yeah. Having practiced creating good habits, I'm like, this is a great way to learn how to keep a resolution. Like making it easier to just stick with them. And then of course, one of them, knowing that this is probably the worst habit of mine, is just my screen time on my phone. I spend so much time. Social media, games, YouTube, and Twitch, and just watching streamers. Like that's how I fall. I still have that problem of how I fall asleep. I don't know if that one's ever going to be fixed because it's just, I don't know. I love falling asleep with a blaring screen right in front of my face.
I do too. I like having the TV on, but
it's a great way to go mindless.
Yeah,
is how I put it.
Yeah, for sure. I get that.
But that was kind of like the biggest one. I'm like, I need to fix this. Deleted all my social media, and only re-downloaded each app or whatever, each platform on occasion, and deleted it right after I needed to. Like if someone said they sent me a message, or somebody wanted to see me or send me a post or something. Weren't
you just on Twitter before we started recording?
Which leads me to this point. I was off everything for like the past 3 weeks or so with I would download it on occasion, 30 minutes at a time. I'll go through it and then delete it right after. I wouldn't spend more than probably for the past month, I probably spent an aggregate of 2 hours total on all social media. Up until last night.
Damn.
Working out with my cousin. We're sitting in the sauna afterwards. He's scrolling through Twitter. And he's like, oh, did you see about all the Jews that are getting... on
the tunnel?
Yeah, like exhausted out of their tunnels?
Yeah.
In New York City? I'm like, what?
Sounds really fucked
like,
up. Like from the jump, it's like you can't say shit like that.
All he said was, "We're in a public sauna with like 6 other people in it."
Yeah.
At the gym, and he just goes, "Oh, did you hear about the Jews in New York City?" I'm like, I barely watch the news. Even my like closest thing to like being updated on current events was Wikipedia's front page.
Yeah.
It was just like 3 or 4 headlines that I've been reading the past like week or so.
Nice.
So complete ignorance, which has been great. We're sitting in the sauna and he just goes, "Oh, did you see about the Jews in New York City?" I'm like looking around. Did other people hear him say that? Like, we are really close quarters. I'm just like, is this like an Israel thing?
Yeah.
Is this like a Gaza Strip current event? Because that's the last time, or like the last headline that I have in my head about anything related to Jewish community.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, we're just Jewish people in New York City who are just like making tunnels underground.
Yeah. That's wild.
And then he started showing me some of the tweets, and I'm like, I need to read down this app. I'm sure most of our listeners, anybody who's going to hear this, hopefully is aware. If they're not, I'll read a short excerpt from yesterday from an article from Rolling Stone, the most trusted news outlet
of course
on the internet. This is from yesterday, January 9th, 2024. Headline, Twitter explodes with anti-Semitic misinfo after secret tunnels found under NYC synagogue. 10 men were arrested following dispute with New York City Police Department officers at a specific synagogue. It also goes on to say the story went viral because it was objectively bizarre.
Objectively.
Which is Twitter's favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
A small sect of Hasidic Jews had built an elaborate system of underground tunnels beneath the streets of Brooklyn for no immediately clear reason. It's been about 24 hours since this article has been out. I don't know of any reason, which granted, I don't really scour for reasons. I scour it for, holy shit, what's the funniest thing that people can come up with about this?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the guy who had claimed, like back in November, he tweeted out,
that he could hear Jewish
I
people.
hear Yiddish underneath my residence. We have no basement.
Yeah.
What's going on?
And people were like, dude, it's like,
yeah, and then they come back, 2 months later, here we are.
Like you're hearing things.
Oh my God. This guy he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously Rolling Stone wants to take it with their, clickbait and headline about misinfo and it being anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Obviously the worst people on the internet, which is their favorite place to send their opinions, take this story in the worst way possible, claiming like, oh, this is a way for them to traffic or whatever. And I'm like, okay, this is that's annoying.
Like taking
y'all are
it
shitty
to
people.
That conspiracy theory, very offensive.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Not good.
I need to download Twitter again and go through all this. And holy shit, everything like relating to Drake being Jewish and his involvement with it. Just everything surrounding this brought me back to Twitter. And it's just, again, coming back to this form of like, I know how much time I spend scrolling through social media, and I know I could be using this time to be way more productive. But especially Twitter, there's just something so comforting about the worst place on the internet that I need a little bit of a fix of.
I get that.
Everyone's got their own. Everyone's got their poison. Everyone's got their.
I love Twitter.
Yeah, their thing. Their vices.
Yeah.
So I want to know, what's the vibe on vices?
Okay.
Mine obviously being the worst place publicly accessible by the internet, on the internet.
I just want you to know that I was really worried where this was going. Like,
I know, I really wanted to.
I didn't know if this was going to be like, what's the vibe on Jewish people?
Yeah, Renika, like, what's the vibe?
I support all people, no matter sex, race, ethnicity. That's my vibe.
Fair enough.
What's the vibe on vices? I think that there are a lot of things that I go back to, like whenever I'm like not in a good mood, I guess. But I feel like,
right, like you need to pick me up every once in a while.
But I don't know, like I feel like there are things where, like for you, I mean, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna delete social media because too much screen time and all of that.
Which, granted, calling it a vice might be degrading to actual vices, if you will. I don't know. Because social media, is it really damaging people? Like, yes, it is to some degree, but is it as direct as alcohol consumption and substance abuse? But at least for me personally, I'll call it my poison. I can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Entirely, at least. I have to have a little fix of it every now and then.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, I think that social media is obviously bad. And actually, this is like a good transition into like something else, but like on topic still. Like I feel like I know that like on TV and everything, they're always like, yeah, like social media is addicting and it's unhealthy because it promotes like horrible ways of like viewing yourself, whatever, and all of that stuff. But I feel like I didn't realize like how addicting it really was until I met certain people in my life who like literally cannot get off of TikTok. Like I will like stand up and be like, I'm gonna grab like a drink or I'm gonna fill my water bottle and it takes 2 seconds and I just hear TikTok going. It's like immediate. It's like you can't go 10 seconds without having it. So like I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, social media is not at that level for you, but I feel like I do have like vices that I
will say, I think you have you're really good at structuring yourself giving yourself structure.
Thank you.
Which I think really helps you in limiting.
I don't know. I mean, I also feel like
use of social media.
I do spend a lot of time, like if I can't sleep, I do like I'll watch like baseball videos like on Instagram and stuff like that, or I'll scroll through Twitter. But like, I mean, most of the time if I'm like really just can't sleep and I'm like, okay, I need to do something, like I'll just like play a game on my phone, I guess. I don't know. Games
are hard to give up because it's a lot of them are kind of built to be addicting. They're short, sweet, easy to get through, so you play one in a matter of 2 minutes. Yeah. You're like, oh, this is a great time filler.
Yeah. What do you like for this, like for your idea of this like subject, what do you consider a vice? Like what's give me the
anything that might not necessarily be good for you, especially in large volume. Yeah. That still brings you some sort of comfort. Yeah. Very general, and again, I don't know. I'm using vice loosely here. But anything that just in the sense, you like it so much that it's a danger to consume it at all, because you think once you consume a little bit of it, you want more and more and more. And if it's something that you really enjoy, it's easy for you to get carried away and enjoy too much of it. Yeah, I guess is where I'm defining a vice.
I mean, I'm defining a vice. On those lines, I'm just gonna say in like overall games. And I don't think like all games are bad for me, but I think that there are certain games where it's like
what?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty is easy to just keep going.
Yeah. And mobile games wise, like those like tap energy games, like where it's like literally like nothing else, but like you just use your energy to progress the story.
And oftentimes it's almost like I don't know if you're talking about the same ones, but the ones that are almost there's no goal or objective, or there's not really a whole lot of progression to it.
Yeah. Well, this
you probably like progression ones.
I have a Harry Potter game.
Yes.
And it tells a whole Harry Potter story. So it's like really,
okay, so that
I gotta tap the energy to get the rest of the story. And I feel like that is like really bad because that game there's so much to it that like literally every morning it's like a routine. Like I get through like all the energy and like get all that stuff and then I have to like do like the mini things that they have like once a day or whatever. And then the rest of the day it's like every 3 hours. As soon as I get the notification, I'm like, oh, I'm in a class right now. I have to go do the energy. And those are very unhealthy. And I used to only play them during like school breaks. And then once I was out of school, like I didn't really have like a lot of time of not doing anything to play them.
Right.
But like every single time like I open one up, like I just like play it nonstop for probably like a month. We'll see
so
when
hard.
this one ends.
Like I feel like I go through phases with games too.
Yeah. But like Call of Duty, that one is actually unhealthy and I admit it. And I know that Mateo's gonna listen to this. And I was gonna say that I would never admit this to his face, but I guess like he'll hear this. But yeah, no, it's Call of Duty is very unhealthy for me.
This is no that I think that's a hilarious statement, like breaking it down to what the general idea of Call of Duty used to be, 20 years ago. Oh, this game is so unhealthy, it promotes violence in children, blah, blah, blah. And then we get to 20 years later and it's, no, kids just don't want to leave the house now.
Yeah.
It's almost unhealthy in a completely opposite way.
No, it's just like, I you know what, I'm a sucker for like checking off boxes.
Yes.
And if you have a game,
that little sense of dopamine.
Exactly. That's why I love achievement hunting, and that's why when a Call of Duty comes out and then I have to camo grind, that's
oh my god, it's so addicting,
and it's the only thing that I want to do. And like I have you ever looked at your
hours?
Yeah, no, but like I was gonna say that, but like your recap, like did you look at your like 2023 recap for Xbox?
No. How do I pull that up? Is it just I could just Google it.
Yeah, probably just Google it. I had a picture that I thought that I sent my brother, but
I feel like mine was probably pretty average. Maybe it might even average for like anyone who semi-regularly plays video games.
Yeah.
Or more. I bet mine was pretty average.
No, that's fair. I was not. I'm just going to let you know that right now.
So then let me pull up mine, and then you can tell me yours and compare.
If I can find it. I don't know. I mean, Mateo was like going through his, and like we had probably similar hours, I'd say, for like overall throughout the year. But then it breaks it down into like how many hours you had for specific games.
Was yours like 70% Call of Duty?
It was such an unhealthy amount. It was like, I found it. I'll tell you the number. But I want to talk about it before I tell you the number, just so I can have like some kind of like excuse.
I have mine pulled up. Do you want me to share mine as like a reference point or a base?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the total amount of time I spent playing video games, granted this is just Xbox. I don't have PS5. I probably would play a lot more if I from their platform specific games. I don't have a PC rig that I play on. I do play phone games.
Yeah.
A couple here and there. But like probably 90% of my time playing games is on Xbox. And of that time, I spent 428 hours playing video games across last year.
428 hours total?
Total.
Cool.
Your emphasis on total is foreboding. Total games, I played 20 different games. I had 63 different achievements. Top gameplay month was November, which is actually kind of hilarious. That side unemployment story. My dad got mad at me in November for how much data we were downloading, and I was like, "Oh, sorry, I'm unemployed." Gotta call it back. Top genres I played: 62% was shooter, 27% action and adventure, 6% sports, 5% other.
Okay.
Is that good enough?
That's fine. Yeah.
I will say it does show me in top 15% of players for hours played, which is probably skewed because this is like any account that played any video game on Xbox.
That's true.
So there's probably a large amount of people who played like for like a month when they were unemployed and then never played again.
Yeah. You said 408?
428 hours.
That's cool. We can move on to the next topic. My topic for the night.
Let's hear yours.
Okay, well, just a little bit of defending myself.
No, you got to say it.
No, I'm going to. No, I am going to first. MW2 came out
November last year, or November 2022.
Yes, and it was like the best Call of Duty that we've seen in a very long time.
Okay.
The camo grind was very fun, and I like checking off boxes.
I will say that camo grind was much different from any other camo grind. They completely switched it up, made it more difficult, and thus more time consuming, I'd say.
It was fun, yeah. Well, do you want just my Call of Duty hours?
Or? Start with just Call of Duty. Actually, no, start with total hours.
Well, the total hours...
Actually, no, start with Call of Duty hours.
Well, the Call of Duty hours is 471.
Oh my god, so it's more than I played all video games.
Yeah. My total is like 1,174.
1,174 hours?
Yeah, so I tripled yours pretty much.
Oh my god.
Mateo definitely has said many times that he thinks that both me and him are going to get PTSD from hearing Shipment in the background from this past year.
That checks out. I will say, along with that, the Shipment map, for any of our vibrators out there who play Call of Duty, Shipment is like the TikTok of Call of Duty.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not so helpful, but it's so addictive. I mean, it can be helpful. Or, I don't know. That metaphor was a little bit skewed. I don't know. It's just very addictive in an unhealthy way.
Yeah. So I guess when you talk about Twitter, I can relate based on this
I
one
probably
thing.
had amount of hours I spent on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's probably close to 1,100.
And like, yeah, people say that this is like not important and that it won't ever bring me anything. But I got better reflexes, happiness, and a really cool skin at the end of it.
And a really cool skin. And I think that's where I kind of wanted to come to with this is like the nail on the head is the happiness part.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Vices, are always recognized as things that aren't good for you.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of things aren't good for you. Bacon isn't good for you. Still eat it. It's still a source of protein.
I don't like bacon.
Fair enough. Okay, Miss Lactose Intolerant. How about ice cream?
I don't like ice cream. I like milk.
Okay, milk. Straight for the fucking kryptonite.
Straight from the teeth. That's what I want.
But the whole point of I'm not going to sit here and say the purpose of life is to enjoy it, even though I think it's a great way to just sum it all up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we spend all this time trying to, be focused on resolutions, creating good habits, personal development, and just growing in any sort of area, professional, financial, spiritual growth, whatever it is. And we forget about the best things in life, which are those things that are unhealthy for us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I don't think it's unhealthy. I'm perfectly healthy. I mean, your Twitter addiction might be unhealthy for you. I don't care, but I'm fine.
I don't care.
I have a good time. I enjoy it.
That's the point.
It makes me
It's
happy.
like, obviously all things good in moderation, but a little splurging can't hurt.
I don't even think that's a splurge. I could do better.
You could do worse.
Better. That's like a little over an hour a day. I can do better.
So 1,100 hours?
Oh, I mean just for Call of Duty.
Well, okay.
That's okay. Yeah, that's
1,100 hours in total.
That's over like 3 hours.
And a quarter, almost a third of it was Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That's not terrible for one game, but the 1,100 hours is just a little bit more than 10% of your year.
Okay, so moving on. So why are
So
we still
2.5
talking
hours
about
a day you spend playing video
I don't
games.
care anymore. I don't care.
I'm just crunching.
And this is like, I'm not even the word. I'm like, his were very close to mine. Mateo's is very close to mine. I don't feel bad.
That boy's a gamer.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day,
Suck my dick. Leave me alone. I'm perfectly
I'm crunching
fine.
the numbers. I'm not trying to pass judgment.
Help.
I'm just making an analytical observation.
Yeah, whatever.
I spend 2.5 hours, doing shit else on my phone.
Yeah.
All day.
Well, that's my vice. And that's okay.
Vices.
I loved it. Good topic.
Yeah,
but
thank you.
I kind of feel like...
Do you feel like shit now?
Sad, yeah.
Good.
Well, I was really excited for when you left tonight so I could play more Call of Duty, but now I don't think I will. But if you want, before you leave, do you want to play gun game?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool.
Mom said you could come over if you bring your own controller, but you have to. We can pick you up, but you have to get a ride home.
Oh my god, that was really good. Actually, that's my childhood. All right, well.
All right, what's your topic?
I liked that.
That
was a good topic.
Thank you.
So my topic, mostly I decided on this because Mateo said that he likes when he gets his name mentioned in our podcast, and he's excited to listen to it.
He's such like a little puppy.
I know.
He's adorable.
So I was like, well, I was deciding between two topics, and I was like, you know what? He just told me that like yesterday or today, so I might as well do a topic of just him and see if he still likes his name being mentioned, because I don't think he will.
The topic is just Mateo?
Yeah, well, no. What's the
vibe on Mateo? Fuck that guy.
Okay, so let me start off by saying that he was talking to me the other day, and he was telling me, so his company, it's like kind of small, like 30 people or whatever, and he's the youngest one there, I think, but...
I was almost just going to dox him. Like, oh yeah, his company.
Yeah. So he was telling me how, like, when he is like talking to people, like he has friends there and everything, and like he can relate on like some things, but like he also will sometimes just like talk to people or overhear people talking, and then he'll be like, damn, I don't relate to this, like you guys are old. Yeah. And then I looked him dead in the eye and I'm like, that's what I feel with you every single day, but I want to point out that I don't think it's because of a 2-year age gap. That's not crazy.
Wait. You feel you're too old for him?
No, like I feel like I don't relate to the things he...
Oh, because he's a child.
Yeah. But like, I don't think that's because of like a 2-year age gap. I think he actually is just like living under a rock on most things in the world.
Yeah,
many
okay.
things.
Continue.
Because I have like a lot of friends. Like one of my best friends is his age exactly, and we relate on everything. Like we talk on like about everything. She knows what I'm talking about all the time. So anyways, backstory to that is that like a while ago I made a list on my phone, and it's just like things that Mateo doesn't know. Anytime that I'll bring up something casually in conversation and he's just like, what is that? Or, oh my god, really, that happened? And it's something that obviously happened and everyone knows about it, and I'll just add it to the list once I realize that, because why not at this point?
Does he know about the list?
I think he knows about the list. I'm pretty sure he knows about the list.
He's telling you something, you're like, wait, hold on. You whip out your phone. And he's like, what are you doing? You're like, shh, I'm focusing. You keep typing.
So this kind of like also has to do, I thought of like you, because I know like you didn't grow up with cable. And so like your childhood TV shows and all of that, I mean, we talked about this before, like a lot of Dragon Tales and
fucking love
Cartoon Network and stuff like that. But like, I mean, I assume you know like some Disney Channel shows or
I mean, yeah, the whole reason we're reading I'm Glad My Mom Died.
True, yeah.
It's because I did grow up watching iCarly.
Yeah.
At friends' houses.
Yeah. Exactly.
I didn't have access to it at home. I didn't need to.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. So anyways, yeah, I made this list, and I can give you some of the things on here and all of the things, but basically what I'm trying to get at is like, you as someone that knows him like kind of well. You
as someone who also just doesn't get any fucking reference, you idiot.
Like growing up, you did not have cable. He is in the same boat. Mateo did not grow up with cable, or he wasn't allowed to watch like TV all the time, whatever. But like a lot of
he was
things
kept
in
the
pop
closet
culture.
Growing up.
Yeah, kept in the closet growing up.
Fed twice a week.
You know a lot of pop culture.
Yes.
No, what's the vibe on Mateo specifically, but also like Gen Z, I guess is how you put it, because I don't even know if I consider myself Gen Z at this point because I don't relate to his thing.
You have some boomer qualities.
Thanks. So what's the vibe on the disconnect between like
I think
millennials and Gen Z and Zillennials? Like
Gen Z?
Yeah, because like I don't know, I feel like I grew up, I mean my brother's like 5 years older than me. I grew up watching a lot of the things that he would watch. I know a lot of like more 90s things, like more like things that came out before I was born, but we're still on TV, you know? So what's the vibe on the disconnect between, I feel like these generations, you just wouldn't expect it.
I think Gen Z just doesn't give a shit about what you think they are. Mm-hmm. And I think I always identify way more with Gen Z.
Really? I disagree. But
you think I'm more millennial?
I personally.
Oh, you identify more with millennials. Yeah. I could see that. I mean, you mentioned you growing up with your brother who's 5 years older. Mm-hmm. I feel like you always talk about a lot of shows that, like, you always talk about the Amanda Show.
But you know what it is, right?
I know of it. I've never seen an episode.
That's okay.
Because I'm Gen Z. Because I'm not a millennial.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I would consider myself like a Zillennial, I guess. More on the millennial
I feel like only millennials use that word.
Okay. I don't know.
Who want to seem trendy and young.
I'm in a Facebook group called Zillennials. So
that checks out. Facebook groups is also a millennial thing.
I love Facebook groups. But anyways. I
don't know. I feel like at this point, anything you say you do, I'm just going to call it a millennial thing.
That's fair. I mean, do you want to hear some of the things on the list? And I mean, if you don't know them, that's okay.
I'll say my initial, the vibe I initially get from just like Mateo. I think there is going to be a lot of disconnect between millennials and Gen Z, more so than there is between any other generations before, because of people who really adopted the internet and social media.
Yeah,
we were born in it.
Yeah,
that's my Bang impression. She's like, I was born. I don't know.
It's pretty good.
I went for it.
I also feel like though that a lot of the things that he like attacks me of knowing, and is like no one knows these things, and he
attacks you for being smarter than him.
he thinks that like,
checks out.
Like I'm just obsessed with like celebrities, and like he literally like he has never met someone that is actually obsessed with celebrities, and he thinks that like I am that person because I know facts about the world.
I don't know what it is. So this is. Well, I think, the difference between generations is biggest between millennial and Gen Z.
Yeah. Well, he didn't know Bernie Mac was dead.
We talked about this earlier. Yeah.
He questioned me when I said.
Oh shit! Hold that! I gotta cancel my shift.
DoorDash?
Yeah. Your boy's an entrepreneur.
I love that for you. Wait, you have shifts?
Yeah, so you can schedule them.
Oh, okay.
And I schedule everyone because there's no repercussions for canceling them.
Yeah.
That I know of.
No.
No. So I just schedule them to reserve. It's basically reserving a spot.
Yeah.
And then if I don't want to do it, nope, I'm good.
That's fair. Well, while you're canceling that.
Yeah, please continue.
Bernie Mac, I was explaining.
You were explaining.
Well, he showed me a funny, I don't know, I saw a funny clip on Twitter probably. Bernie Mac made me laugh. And then he's watching it too. And I was like, man, Bernie Mac, he was the best, He goes, why'd you say was?
Was?
He
just like starts getting teary-eyed.
I thought he was fucking, I literally thought he was fucking with me. And I was like, so I just ignored him. I just gave a little chuckle and I moved on. And then he said, and then he grabbed me. He said, is he dead? Why did you say was?
He's like having an episode right there.
And I said, Bernie Mac? Yes, he's dead. He said, when did he die? 15 years ago.
You're a terrible person for that.
I'm sorry.
That's like telling a child. That's like telling a teenager that Santa isn't real.
I'm fine with that. I'll take the blame because what the. Okay. Anyways, moving on from Bernie Mac. He had never heard of Paris Hilton. Did not know that.
What?
Did not know that London Tipton was based off of Paris Hilton because Tipton Hilton. Yeah, has no idea who Paris Hilton is. That's whatever. There's a song, and I don't know the song off the top of my head, but the song that talks about like Tia and Tamara. It's like, I don't know, it's a rap song.
Tia and Tamara.
I don't know. I wish I could tell you, but he was like rapping that song once, and then I was like, I just thought it was a fun thing to bring up. I was like, oh man, I was obsessed with them when I was growing up. Like, I loved watching Sister Sister.
Is it Doja? It is Doja.
Okay, yeah, probably. And I was like, I loved watching Sister Sister and Twitches and stuff. And he's like, what? I said,
I had no idea what they were referencing.
What? And he said, he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, Tia and Tamara. He said, who's that? I'm like, you were just singing their names. What do you mean? And he's like, that's just lyrics of a song. They're real people? I said, yes.
Okay, he's 23 now?
Yeah.
Him being 23 now is now like, all right, you should at least have some idea like the previous generation.
Yeah.
Even if that is a millennial show.
Twitches was on though. Like Twitches.
Yeah, like popular. Maybe it could be considered a Gen Z thing. Like he's almost Gen Alpha.
Yeah, honestly. Wait, no, don't say that. This makes me sound bad. I never said
he
that.
He has the pop culture awareness.
No, yes.
And American culture awareness of a 16-year-old.
But it feels like a 15-year-old when they're hearing stories about their like grandparent is what makes like that's how it feels to me.
Grandpa?
Like,
what was it like during the Me Too era?
He didn't know.
Did you ever get canceled? He's asking you shit like this.
He had never heard of Lizzie McGuire. Hillary.
That's wild. See, like this
Hillary
shit is like
Duff.
This is like us not knowing what
Even
the
Stevens,
Rolling Stones was.
Yeah, he didn't know that Shia LaBeouf got his start from Even Stevens. He thought Lizzie McGuire and Hillary Duff were two different people that I just liked and talked about casually, but I was just telling.
It's basically like Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana.
Exactly, that's what he thinks.
Two different people.
In
his defense,
there's so many. He's never seen. I don't know if you've seen this, but Smart House on Disney Channel. It's an older movie. That one I was like, okay, that one's fair. Like that was just like kind of on the list that he needs to watch it because I really love that movie. But whatever. But he had never heard of The Sandlot when we started.
That one's crazy. That's like not knowing Rocky.
Yeah, never seen it. Literally have never heard of The Sandlot. I was like,
that's insane.
What the hell?
Yeah, he's a child.
Oh my god, he had never heard of Tamagotchis.
You're like raising him.
Okay, stop saying that. Never heard of Tamagotchis. Oh, and I texted you this the other night. I think Florence Pugh. I was watching the Golden Globes and she was on TV, and then I was like, oh my god, she's gonna be in Dune. Like we stand the next. Dune.
She's gonna be in Dune.
Yeah, the next one.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And so I was like, oh my god, Florence Pugh and Zendaya. We stand that next movie or whatever. And he said, "What's Stan?" I said, "What do you mean, what Stan?
So
Stan, like the word."
That's another thing of like, okay, this is not another thing, but this is a good additional thing to address.
Yeah.
That's like a still relevantly
Thank you. People use it all the time.
Yeah. That's not like a boomer, like it's getting to be a millennial word or like a boomer word.
But it's like
I don't think it is.
Like
no, like Stan is still used.
Yeah.
Like it's like using bet.
Exactly. Yeah. He has no idea what Stan is.
Stan. I was under the impression that it was stalker fan.
Yeah. Like
it's like a really obsessed fan.
Yeah, exactly.
Which has then led into
like,
okay, we just really like them.
Yeah, we stand.
They're great people. We support them.
Yeah, but it's a very common word.
It's a very common word.
In my opinion. I think honestly one of like, well, I mean, I argue with him about a lot of these things because I'm like, no, you are the one that does not know this, not I'm special for knowing this. But we were talking about American Idol, I think, and he was like, I mean, those shows are so stupid. Like, no one famous ever comes from those shows. And I'm like, Jennifer Hudson, Kelly Clarkson, literally, like, you can name so many people. Like the first winner of America. Like, it's still going on today for a reason.
Can you name more than those two?
There's the guy, Adam Lambert.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't want to mess up his name.
And I think
Fantasia.
Who's Fantasia?
She's a very good singer. I think after she put out, like, a couple songs, I honestly think she might have gone to theater now. But
so I think a lot of times the winners of the shows, in his defense, trail off.
No one famous has ever come.
But that is a false thing.
Kelly
there's
Clarkson
only a couple
and Jennifer
Hudson.
It was never his claim was I have never heard of a famous person.
He also just enjoys
comes
being
from
extreme.
American Idol. I agree.
I love it.
And I literally said, Kelly Clarkson. He said, she was on American Idol. I said, why do you talk about these things when you don't have the facts behind them? Like, if you don't know, just don't talk on it. I'm like, what? Like,
he's my favorite source of misinformation.
he is a good source of misinformation, honestly. He should start his own podcast. But no, I mean, like, those were like the biggest things, I feel like, to me, that were like, this shit hurts. Makes me feel like I have grandchildren.
Like you're an old lady.
Yeah.
I think in 10 years, the age gap won't seem as big.
That's what I always
think. When he's 26 and you're 35.
Thanks, yeah. Like, that's how I always feel, but like, I don't know. I mean, the more I speak out loud, the more it's defined. But I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, but the thing is too, is that like, he'll argue about it. Like he'll
argue about it.
Yeah. Like when we were talking, me and his friend were talking about how the Star Wars movies produced a lot of famous people.
They did.
And we were talking about James Earl Jones and how he's a very famous person.
Shout out Darth Vader.
Yeah. And he had no idea who that was and said that he's not famous.
Insane. When
I started talking about Luke fucking Skywalker, he said he's never been in anything else again. I said, Mark Hamlin? Luke Skywalker?
Hamlin? Mark Hamill.
Hamill?
Yeah. Like
it's not
Campbell.
Hamlin?
Okay. It's not Hamlin.
To be fair, I only watched Star Wars once, but I knew that Luke Skywalker...
You knew who he was.
Exactly. That's the thing. I've only seen Star Wars once, and I knew who they were. So I feel like it's not that hard.
What else
like,
was he in besides... There's one other... He
does a lot of voice acting now.
Okay. He was Joker in...
Oh, really?
One of the...
I did know that. He was the voice of Fire Lord Ozai in...
I did not know that.
Fun fact, yeah.
Oh, cool.
But, like, he's still a pretty big name either way. Like, I mean,
like Mark Hamill.
Yeah, like, I had never seen...
If you're of age, you should know that name.
Like, I don't think I watched Star Wars until, like, sophomore year of college, I think, for the first time. But I knew who, like, he was. I knew who James Earl Jones was. Like, I knew who those people were. I just, like...
It's like not knowing the name Lyndon B. Johnson was the president.
Yeah.
I could tell you shit else of what he did when he was president, any importance he had in office, but I know his name. Yeah.
I mean, so going back to it all, do you think that these, like, I don't know, obviously...
These?
Continue. Obviously, I don't know if, like, other generations... I mean, I know that every generation hates the generation younger than them, but, like, for these two generations where there's not even a defined cutoff, like, it's just, like, so
Do you mean
drastic.
millennial and Gen Z?
Yeah. It's just, like, crazy how many, like... And I know that you said, like, yeah, this is not him being a Gen Z. It's him just being...
I think this is more specifically him just
okay,
being an outlier.
Okay. That makes me feel better, I'd say. Because, like, I really thought it was, like... I mean, that's why I started, like, thinking that I was just really a millennial. Like, at that point, like, I'm like, okay, well, obviously I don't relate at all.
I will say, I think mid-20s is where you start having those moments of like, oh, fuck. Like,
yeah.
I'm a boomer now.
Yeah.
Like, you'll have your boomer moments. You're like, I'm washed.
And, like, that's fine. But I would also like to, like, you know, talk to someone who is literally within a 2-year age range of me and be like, oh, remember the good old days? No, what the fuck is that? I've never heard of that in my life. But, like, there are so many things in my childhood that I've brought up that I, like, probably just didn't add to the list. And I'm like, these things defined me. And you have no idea what they are. But that's okay. Yeah. And that's whatever.
It is whatever.
But thank you for making me feel better.
It is. You kind of just mentioned this, but the defining line isn't as clear as it has been in other generations. Yeah. I've always had my own personal one is if you remember where you were on 9/11. Yeah. Then you're a millennial.
That's fair. That's what I've heard.
Do you remember?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
No.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, I'm Gen Z. Yeah. Like, I was 4 years old, but like I have some friends who are my age. Yeah. And they do remember. And maybe this is just me attributing something to something I just want to make real. Mm-hmm. They have a lot more millennial qualities.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Zillennial is a good term for me. I mean, I don't really...
So millennial.
I don't really know what, like, I mean, I can't think of a lot of Gen Z things, I feel like, to even understand. Like, I know that I'm not a TikTok person, like, at all. So I know that I don't relate to that. And that's the only thing that I can associate.
I think that's, like, a good moniker for Gen Z.
So, I don't know. I mean, maybe there will be more things that
I mean, Gen Z also kind of, rather than seeing, I think big things are like the legalization of cannabis.
Yeah.
And then also sports gambling. So at least like politically, we've seen those shifts in our culture.
Okay, yeah.
So I think that might be a huge, maybe not huge shift or like what might define this generation, but I think it might have some influence. At least in regards to, I think what this is in a serious note, I think Gen Z is going to be much more well prepared to take on their own personal challenges and like things they want to change and get better at.
Yeah.
Because I think the biggest thing was, this conversation about mental health was so big the last like decade.
Right.
That rather than having it being a new idea for adults, they're going to grow into it and know that it's important to be happy or whatever, to take care of themselves in all forms of life, not just physical, also mental, and then everything else that comes along with those two, financial, professional, anything that plays into that. I think they'll have a better idea of like, yeah, I need to do this. Yeah. I'm not afraid of it. Whatever. I need to go see a therapist or whatever. I need to go find a source of income. I'm not going to be, even if that source of income is delivering fast food to people with good jobs, I'm not going to be, I don't care what that says about me, how I might be perceived. I just need to do it because I want what that can result in. Right. Positive change. I don't know. That's a serious thought of mine. It's just like what I see in a bigger difference between generations. Like it's not going to be a huge part of, like it's not going to be a huge deal for them to make these changes. Yeah. As it can be more difficult for, I think, people in their adulthood who are now coming to terms with, oh shoot, you know what? Yeah, I probably could change a little bit. You're right. This got way too serious. I don't like this.
Gen Z's got it so easy.
Gen Z has it way too easy.
Fuck them kids. When does Gen Alpha start? Is it already started?
I think it was, I want to say like 2012.
Oh, damn. Okay. I don't know much about generations.
Generation Alpha.
Well, thank you. Thank you for...
This says 2010 to 24, so like this year. Wow, we're in the... Next year might be the first year of generation beta.
Oh, shit.
It's fucking betas.
That's funny. I mean, thank you, Michael. This was a good session for me, because...
Welcome.
Kind of having
Welcome to Dr. Michael.
A life crisis there. Like, I felt like shitty.
You should.
About my age. I got a bad back.
He's like, you ask him about like, I don't know, someone like Zach and Cody, and he's like, who? Oh, also, that dress makes you look old.
That sounds like a real conversation we've had.
Stop.
They call me old all the time. I'm not old.
When did you start letting your crow's feet show? Do you think he even knows what crow's feet are?
No.
He's gonna listen to this and he's gonna be like, I do fucking know what crow's feet are. Period. In his text.
He's gonna Google it. I'm gonna find it in his search history. God, that's so funny. But yeah, that was my topic. I feel slightly better, I think. Still a little bit old, but I think I'm good. I think
you are old. If it makes you feel better, I'm technically older than you.
You are, but you obviously relate to Gen Z, and I don't know. And I think it's just because you don't have cable. Cable makes you millennial, I guess.
Probably.
That would make sense. Streaming.
It is. I will say, yeah, that'll be a much different thing for Generation Alpha, is growing up on fucking, what's that kid show?
Oh, Bluey?
No.
Oh, damn. I heard a lot about Bluey, though.
No. Fuck. This is gonna kill me.
Was it like a recent one or like one?
Yeah, like recently. Like,
Oh, all I know.
Like a toddler show.
Paw Patrol.
No.
Damn.
Netflix kid show. And it's just
Baby
taken
Shark.
the world by storm. No.
Dora the Explorer.
I think it was not necessarily Netflix, but no, it's like new, like it just recently created. within the last 5 years, maybe.
Oh, shit. Well,
regardless, I don't know. They're growing up on much different forms of how they receive information.
Yeah.
Entertainment.
That's true.
Everything that is part of information.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see how that changes.
Well, I think that's a good stop to the what's the vibes. But for future references,
Mateo, the vibe,
bad.
Child.
Oh. Yeah, child. And for vices, I don't have any. I'm perfectly healthy.
Vices aren't real.
Exactly.
I like that vibe.
Yeah.
That's a good vibe to have. Do you want to... Okay, so with that being said, do you want to end on your list you found? Just reading off a couple of those.
Well, good transition into we might be streaming, we might not. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so our plan of attack now, 2024, new year, new us. We'll be releasing an episode every...
No promises. Don't promise it.
We're promising
we'll see you
2 a
guys
month.
next year.
And then streaming, so we'll be releasing an episode twice every year. No, I'm just kidding. Twice a month, and then every other week, and then weeks in between we'll be streaming some video game on Twitch. Is our plan?
Yes. And in my research on seeing how Twitch could work with like 2 of us streaming, I came across the prohibited games list, and me being someone that respects Twitch as a company, I say I should check this out and make sure
we're not playing any prohibited games.
Because like I don't want to go against their rules.
We don't.
Well, let me tell you.
Give me your top 5.
I'm going to say right here that a lot of these I'm not going to say the names of, because
just say them and we'll blur it out.
I don't want to say that word though. It's a bad word.
I'll say it for you. Do you want me to read it?
No, it's sad. Like I don't. No, because I don't want a trigger warning going on here. If you want to find out the ones, I mean, you'll know.
When we have a blur, like a word we need to bleep out, can we have a very obnoxious sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, if anyone wants to go to Twitch's prohibited games without an adults-only rating list, you'll know what word I'm talking about. And there are, like, many on there that have that word in the name. And they're very inappropriate. But anyways.
They're kind of iconic.
The ones that I really liked so far were BMX XXX, which makes me think it's just about bicycles and sex.
It's seatless bikes.
It's gotta be. Other than that, Cuckold Simulator. Intriguing.
Isn't that just like regular porn?
See? I don't know, but I'm curious. Dramatical Murder. I just think that they're
just It's just like really
people.
Detailed.
Yeah. That's my assumption.
You have like unlockable characters of like different serial killers.
This one is just like, I'm curious, and I don't know if I'm gonna look it up or not, but it's Genital Jousting.
No, that's actually. Have you seen that game?
No.
No, we need to play that.
No,
it is a fun game.
No.
Yes.
These are banned.
We won't stream it, but we'll play it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Genital Jousting we need to play. It's fucking stupid.
Porno Studio Tycoon. Just sounds like kind of like Roller Coaster Tycoon, but porno studio.
I feel like I'm gonna keep that opinion to myself.
But this one was really aggressive, and I don't even want to know what it's about. But ethnic cleansing.
Oh my god!
So honestly, I think it's a valid list. I don't think people should play these games. They sound bad and mean. Horrible. But yeah, no, I mean, just for everybody to know that I don't support genocide or ethnic cleansing of any type.
But you do support genital jousting.
I don't know. You can show it to me. I might think it's funny.
You basically, it's like a, were we playing this earlier? It's like, have you played that game Game Beasts?
No.
You kind of play as these like cartoonish characters just trying to push each other out.
Oh,
or Party Animals just came out.
Oh, and so you just joust with your genitals?
You're basically just a cartoon dick. And you're trying to like wrestle each other out of a ring or beat each other up, but in a very cartoonish way.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I support that one. That sounds fun. Sounds appropriate.
It's actually way more appropriate. Like, I mean, it has like some genitalia paraphernalia, if you will, but like it's super cartoonish. You're like a bright blue dick.
Okay.
And it's basically like what you would draw in a textbook in high school.
I didn't draw those on textbooks in high school. Okay.
Middle school then.
No, not me personally, but
stalls in the bathroom.
Okay, Michael. This is something only you could
carve it on your principal's window of his Mercedes. No?
Did you do that to Ronald? Because it would have been funny if true.
No.
Damn. No. I believe you.
It's a very cartoonish and very funny game.
Okay. But yeah, no, those were.
That's a good list. That's a good top 5 or whatever you had.
Yeah, I think it was more than that. The other ones, horrible. I mean, there were horrible ones on here, obviously, but like I just can't believe you came up with a game. Like, I feel like that's just obviously. Maybe we shouldn't name it that. I don't know.
Should I look what ethnic?
Nope. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Thanks for
new episode at some point.
At some point, and you're gonna try and do another one this month.
We will. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Bye.